On the news tonight, provision of more facilities underway towards enhancing the performance of the judiciary. Nigeria seeks partnership with the United States on food security. Good evening and happy new month to you all out there. This is NTA Jawode News at 7, coming to you from your heritage station. Thanks for joining us. I am Olawumi Adeniji. Here are the details. Nigeria is seeking partnership with the United States government on food security. Vice President Kashim Shettima made a request when he met with Mr. Kari Fowler, U.S. Special Envoy for Global Food Security, as part of his engagement in the United States of America. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Declined in some deals.
Straight to the point, the interaction focused on identification of key areas where Nigeria will require urgent support towards addressing challenges in the agricultural sector. Mechanized farming, quality seeds, production, and smart agriculture are areas Nigeria is seeking partnership.
We'll keep the relationship, we'll nurture it, because more than ever before, we are facing real food security challenges, and we have to think outside the box. We have to look for ingenious solutions that can help us to cross the Rubicon. I believe with your support, the political will is there, now more than ever before, so that together we can save humanity and serve the human race. In Nigeria, we have research institutes that are devoted to millet and sorghum. You can partner with them. The Lechad Research Institute in Borno State has that mandate to dwell on millet and sorghum. And they are doing excellently well. They have come up with some breeds of sorghum and millet that the yield has literally multiplied.
The U.S. Special Envoy on Global Food Security said government, in partnership with other stakeholders, has launched an agricultural initiative assuring that Africa will be prioritized.
And in summary, what we're trying to do in working with African countries is two things. One is to help African countries at the national level, governments, down to the farm level, manage the soil more properly to ensure sustainability and productivity. So to do much more sophisticated soil mapping and analytics and modeling to give you the kind of information you would need to make better decisions about land use, where to plant, what kind of infrastructure would be needed in certain areas based on what the soil can give you or can't.
The U.S. government has also established a $100 million multi-donor trust fund between the International Fund for Agricultural Development and the United States Agency for International Development to provide long-term funding for a program aimed at improving indigenous African crops and proper soil management for all to ensure sustainability and productivity. Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
3 years after the October 2020 EndSARS protest, the National Human Rights Commission and civil society are harping on the need to serve justice to victims of human rights violations in the hands of security agencies. This came to the fore during the launching of the reports on EndSARS judicial panel by Enough is Enough, Ekene Ndule Pasmo.
The aftermath of the EndSARS protest saw the inauguration of EndSARS judicial panels across 29 states of the Federation and the FCT to handle complaints of police brutality. The panels have since drawn to a close, with only Lagos State publishing a public report and the FCT paying compensations of over 400 million naira.
So there's no reason why the states where these violations occurred should not at least pay compensation to their citizens.
The report from Enough is Enough, a civil society organization, shows judicial panels in most states did not conclude their findings. Indicted police officers have not been prosecuted, while awarded compensations have not been paid to victims.
We talk about security in this country, we talk about peace, but we cannot have peace when there's injustice. We deal with the issues proactively, so we don't have another reason for young people to say, you must hear me by force.
This matter will continually be on the table until justice is served.
The EndSARS protest of 20th October 2020 was indeed a dark moment in the history of Nigeria. However, these human rights defenders believe another EndSARS can be avoided if law enforcement officers and governments take issues of human rights violations seriously. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
The process of dispensing justice, people normally say, is built and sustained through public trust and confidence in judicial decisions. However, the challenge of inadequate facilities having been identified as an hindrance to effective justice delivery, the Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf, says provision of more facilities is in the offing towards enhancing the performance of the judicial officers. This was at the opening of the 2023-2024 legal year of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. Olabode Arewa reports.
This beautiful but solemn procession mounted by judges in the FCT judiciary marked the commencement of the new legal year. Having concluded the annual recess of the courts of justice, the determination and desire to adjudicate on cases brought before them this legal year is evident on their faces. Giving an account of the activities and proceedings in the High Court of the FCT within the last 1 year, the Chief Judge said 58 judges sat on 18,465 pending and new cases, while magistrates in the various judicial divisions attended to 12,983 matters. He said the adoption of e-filing and virtual proceedings have made justice dispensation faster and less cumbersome.
Our goal is to uphold the principles of openness, transparency, and accessibility in determining justice. Our essential task is to make independent and impartial decisions on disputes brought before us for resolution and to serve the overall interest of justice. Even as we decide cases between parties, we also clarify law for everyone. That is why people must understand how and why a given decision was reached.
And the MDS will strive to make our justice system more efficient, more responsive, and more resilient. Will indeed ensure a just and timely prosecution of all cases involving the federal government and any of its agencies, ensuring that these cases are pursued diligently, thereby fostering fairness and expediency in our judicial system.
The judiciary is the mighty fortress against tyrannous and oppressive law. It is the judiciary that has to ensure that the state is subject to law, that the government respects the rights of individuals under the law. The courts have to ensure that the administration of any government conforms to the law.
Following the emergence of new judicial realities in the country, authorities of the High Court of the FCT say a review of its civil procedure rules is in the offing with the aim of sustaining the culture of judicial excellence the High Court of the FCT is known for. Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Nigeria electorates must begin to hold power to prevent political gross misconduct among its office holders. Guests extolled this while discussing politics of impeachment on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria.
Over time, many Nigerian politicians have been faced with impeachment threats at one point or the other. Some managed to survive while many others couldn't. The recent is the political development in Rivers State, which has continued to elicit some reactions. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria condemned the spate of politics of impeachments in the country while emphasizing gross misconduct of politicians aside weak institutions which are meant to put things in order as the major cause.
It is, first of all, human beings, individuals, that make these institutions not to work. Individuals that have like I said, been donated power by the Constitution to operate in these institutions, make them ineffective, make the institutions to look weak, make the institutions to be ineffectual because of personal agenda and personal interests.
So when they come to form the National Assembly, there was no rule of law. The separation of power was not observed. That's why we are where we are today at the state level, and you will find it also at national level.
A lot of our problem is not constitution, it's the civic culture, the mentality and the attitude of our political elites who are leading our Nigerians, because they lack the ethos, the values, the culture that every democracy is supposed to have.
Others reiterated that votes of people must remain paramount to the elected and must guide against misconduct.
Any form of impunity is a menace to the consolidation of democracy. And the whole idea, you do what you like, then you go to court, should be taken very seriously as something that distracts from progress in our polity and restrain from those kind of behavior.
They agreed that political parties must work in interest of the country, especially while selecting or electing their candidates, aside the fact that sanctions must be applied when needs be. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA News at 7. There will be more reports after this time out. So stay tuned.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, you reach where others can't. Coffee! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy. We'll see about that.
It's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K. Go. And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
You're welcome back, and thanks for being there. The news continues. Corps Marshal, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Bill says the Corps remains resolute in meeting the 5% end of the year road crash reduction in the country, as the Corps officers and men are well trained and prepared for the task. This was at the decoration of the Corps Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, as a Deputy Corps Marshal of the Corps. Oyeyemi Ajayi, complete the report.
The last few months of the year, commonly called Ember Months, is often a period of festivities. This season is also characterized by high rate of road crashes. Committed to turning the tide this year, the Federal Road Safety Corps is evolving strategies to reduce road crashes to 5% or below.
We have a target of 5% reduction, and I believe we are going to achieve that because we have deployed more vehicles, we have opened more commands, and then much more equipment are out there, including the body camera and other things.
Still basking in his euphoria of his recent elevation to Deputy Corps Marshal, the Corps Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, says machinery is already in motion to ensure the target becomes reality.
There is reward, big reward in when you do things rightly, you get it the right time, and at the same time you do what you are supposed to do.
Let me use this opportunity to say I want to rededicate myself to the mission of FRSC, which is to eradicate road traffic crashes in Nigeria and to assist in creating a safer motoring environment. Thank you and God bless.
Apart from ensuring safe and free movement of motorists throughout the season, the Corps Marshal says every motorist will not be spared. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
And in the same vein, the Federal Road Safety Corps Ogun Sector Command is intensifying motorized patrol along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and other accident flashpoints in the state to ensure the safety of Nigerians plying the roads. To this end, the Sector Command has flagged off the Ember Month campaign at Ashero Motor Park in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Yemi Dalemo, complete the report.
Flagging off the Safety and Awareness Ember Months campaign at one of the major motor parks in Abeokuta, the Zonal Commander FRSC in charge of Lagos and Ogun States, Gilbert Igbokwe, and the Ogun Sector Commander Anthony Uga identify fatigue, excessive speed, route violation, among others, as the major causes of crashes along the Abeokuta-Shagamu and Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
People understand the dangers of what the actions that are taken on the road, and in addition to the awareness, we also enforce.
As a command, we are planning a motorized patrol to send a signal that you should drive to stay alive and drive at a stipulated speed limit,
while urging drivers to resist the temptation to speed beyond the stipulated limits. In line with the theme of the program, FRSC notes that 349 trucks and articulated vehicles were involved in road traffic crashes in Ogun State from January to September 2023, adding that the agency will continue partnership with relevant agencies to fight against the use of illicit drugs and substances fueling the frequent crashes. Stakeholders, including the Nigerian Army, police, and transport unions, promise to cultivate the habit of responsible driving to stay alive. Members of the National Youth Service Corps demonstrated the theme of the road safety campaign, which is Speed Thrills but Kills, Drive Responsibly and Avoid Overloading, in a short playlet presented before the gathering. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemu, NTA News.
And that concludes the news for this evening. The World Mobile is standing by to bring you the Yoruba version of the bulletin. You have a good night and a peaceful month.
My son, calm down now.
Yeah, why did you sweat like a rubber?
My uncle no go bite. Uncle!
What's up?
Uncle, meet Andy. He has come to ask for my hand in marriage.
Good morning and good afternoon, sir. What about good night? Are you seeing a movie? What nonsense! Son, you are in control.
No, sir. It's my parents in the village. I'm doing a video call since they can't be here.
Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ jẹ́ àǹfààní ọgọ́rùn-ún mẹ́fà owó ìpè ọ̀fẹ́ àti àfikún ìdá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rin ní gbogbo ìgbà tó o bá fowó sórí ẹ̀rọ ìpè rẹ pẹ̀lú àfikún tó tó ìdá ọgọ́rùn-ún lórí ètò dátà. Bẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀tẹ̀ ètò ìpè àti dátà tó nípọn lẹ̀ bí orí àjànàkú.